My favorite Christmas song is We Three Kings. I don't know of a Christmas song that better describes the mystery of the Incarnation than this. You have the identity of Christ summarized in 3 different gifts that the wise men brought to Jesus. You've got gold, you have frankincense, and you have myrrh. Gold for a king, frankincense for a god, and myrrh for a sacrifice. Well, Jesus is all 3 of those things. He's the God of the universe, King of the universe. He's God himself made flesh. And he is the sacrifice that merited for us our salvation. So whenever we get to the sorrowful mystery of the crucifixion, of course I'm reminded of his birth, that he is these 3 things, but I'm also reminded of an event that occurred a few years ago at Healing the Whole Person at our parish. Bart Schutz was leading us through a prayer activity one night where we were to ask Jesus to point out an area in our hearts that we really felt like he wanted to heal that night. There was a worship leader there who started strumming on the guitar and praying while we were doing this. So when I asked Jesus if there was a memory that he, or a wound, an experience that he wanted to heal me of, he took me right back to when I was 10 years old. My mother passed away in a car accident a week before Christmas. I remembered standing by her casket at the viewing, being overcome with emotion, with fear, with loneliness, with this pain of loss, this unimaginable grief. And whenever I went back to that memory as an adult or even as a child, an older child, this was an overwhelming experience for me. And I felt all those things again as if I was still standing there that night. So when we started praying and through this activity, the Lord began speaking things to me that I had never heard before. Eventually, he got to the point where he said, "Look, Mary, your mother, is standing here beside you." The worship leader who was praying and strumming, she prayed the same phrase immediately after I heard it. And I thought, that's unusual. So I continued to pray, and the Lord continued to say things to me, and this worship leader continued to repeat it verbatim as soon as the Lord had finished saying it to me. Where things really picked up is when the Lord said, or when I heard the Lord say to me, "Mary is walking you to the foot of the cross." The worship leader sang that too. When we got to the foot of the cross, Mary kneeled with me in front of the crucifix while Jesus was being crucified. I saw the spear enter his side and the blood and water pour forth from his side. She moved me into it so that I could be immersed in it, and that blood and water, the blood of the sacrifice of Jesus, washed my heart, and particularly that wound, that memory. I saw Jesus by my mom's casket that night in the memory, and he said to me, "You're not alone now, and you'll never be alone ever again." So now after that, I can go back to that memory and only feel joy, because I know the truth. I know that I was never alone, and I know that I'll never be alone again. So this Christmas, I really encourage you to pray and ask Jesus, is there a wound in your heart that needs healing? And if he points something out to you, ask our mother. Ask her to take you to the foot of the cross, and you'll find the same healing that I did.